What's up guys, this is Chronic Rush HD and welcome back to a brand new episode of my FIFA 13 X-Players Squad Builder. Today I've got a player with the X-Players of Reading, and this proved to be very hard indeed. I had to do quite a bit of research to find some of the players that actually used to play for Reading, and it seems to be quite hard to do. But let's move on to some of the players and the squad. So we're going to start off with the manager, and this is going to be Brian McDermott. He recently got sacked, I believe, on like the 14th of March or something, and I'm making this video on the 16th, so it's only been 2 days, so I decided to put him in. You could also use Alan Pardew. He was a ex-manager of Reading, but I decided to use him in a different squad. I wanted a bit of variety, and the formation we're going to be playing is the 4-2-2. So, let's get into some of the players. The goalkeeper is going to be a silver player. We're going to have a player called Ben Hamer. Currently plays for Charlton Athletic. And he cost me 150 coins. He's got 69 diving, 66 reflexes, 63 handling, and 63 positioning. So, pretty good stats in all the categories you want. However, if he was a bronze player, he'd be a really good keeper. But being 65 rated, not many people want him. Hence, the 150 coin price tag. Moving on to our right back, we've got a player who we used already, played for Hull, and that is Rosenier. He is a 68 rated player. He cost me 400 coins. He's got 76 pace, 66 dribbling, 65 defending, and 61 heading. So he's not that bad of a centre back. He does kind of lack down in pace, but there is better centre backs in that league, so I wouldn't advise getting him. Moving on to our two centre-backs, we've got two bronze players. The first one's going to be a player called Durberry. He plays for Oxford in the Empower League 2. He's got 49 pace, so obviously his main letdown is obviously his pace. But he's got 63 defending, 70 heading, and 6'3". So he's an absolute giant. He's really physically strong. He's tall, and shame about his pace, but he cost me 750 coins. If his pace was slightly higher, I'd definitely recommend him, but it just doesn't cut it for me. Moving on to the second centre-back, we've got another bronze player and another slowish player, and that's going to be a player called Lockwood. He plays for Bury, I think. Bury in the Empower League 1. He cost me 150 coins. He's got 53 pace, 66 defending, and 68 heading, 64 rated player. And I just wouldn't recommend him. His pace is slow. He's got fairly decent defending and heading stats, but I just wouldn't recommend him. Moving on to the left back, we've got another bronze player, and that's going to be a player called Scott Goldburn. He plays in the Empower Championship for Barnsley. He's got 74 pace, 62 defending, and 67 heading. It cost me 200 coins, and again, he's one of those players that if you were to build a team with in this league, there's just better players and for better price, so I wouldn't recommend picking him up, but he does do the job. Moving on to our two CDMs, the first player is going to be a goal player who is going to be in the centre mid position, and that is going to be Stephen Sidwell. He currently plays for Fulham, and I'll put him as a CDM just because he's got fairly decent defending stats. As you can see there, most of his stats are above 70, other than his pace and heading, and he cost me 500 coins, so I definitely recommend putting him in a CDM. If you guys are looking for a CDM in an English squad or something and you don't have the amount of coins, he's just fairly cheap and just all-rounded fairly solid. Moving on to our second CDM, we've got a bronze player who normally plays in the centre mid position, and that is Harper. Currently plays for Doncaster. He cost me 150 coins, and this guy's a really nice centre mid. As you can see, all of his stats are above 60, and this guy's got a really nice long shot on him as well. In FIFA 12, he had phenomenal long shots, and I think they've lowered that slightly, but he's still a really nice centre mid, and I'll put him as a CDM because he's got fairly decent defensive and heading stats, so he works quite well in that position. Moving on to the two centre attacking mids, our first player is going to be a bronze player, and he's going to be called Scott Davis. He plays in the Empower League 1 for Crawley Town, and he cost me 500 coins. He's normally in a centre mid, so I moved him up to a centre attacking mid. He's got 76 pace, 64 shots, 60 passing. Shame about his defending wasn't as high. Maybe if it was in the mid-60s, he'd be probably a better player, just because defending you pretty much need on a bronze player just to keep the ball near your body, be a fairly decent, skillful player. But that's probably his only lacking point. He's not a bad player whatsoever. Moving on to our other central attacker mid, we've got a goal player going for discard ploys, and that is Sigurdsson. Currently plays for Tottenham. He cost me 700 coins, like I said. He's got 70 pace, 71 dribbling, 80 shot, 74 passing, and he's actually not a bad central attacking mid. His probably let down stats is probably his pace, hence the reason he's probably better as a centre attacking mid or a centre forward. But He's got a really nice shot on him, and he can pass the balls into our 2 strikers. Moving on to the 2 strikers, we've got 2 goal players. The first one is going to be this player, Shane Long, currently plays for West Brom in the Barclays Premier League. He cost me 1,600 coins. He's got 88 pace, 73 dribbling, and 69 shot, 74 heading as well. So meaning he's really placey player. He's got fairly decent dribbling stats as well. He's got a nice shot on him, and he can header the ball as well. So not a bad striker. Definitely recommend picking him up. And I think he's been, I wouldn't say price locked, but he seems to be really expensive at the moment. I don't know why. But he used to be quite cheap, so I wouldn't advise picking up. There's probably better players like Morales. I'm not quite sure how much he goes for, but he is obviously an alternative if you're to build a cheap Barclays Premier League team. Moving on to the final player of the team, another goal player, another Irish player. We have Kevin Doyle. He plays for Wolverhampton in the Empower Championship. And he cost me 500 coins. He's got 76 pace, 72 dribbling, 71 shots, 62 passing, and 77 heading. He's not a bad striker whatsoever. Shame about his pace. If it was slightly higher, it'd be really nice player. He's got a nice shot on him. Fairly skillful player. He's got fairly nice heading stat on him as well. 6 foot as well, so he's a pretty tall player. So guys, that's been the team. As you can see there, we have 100 chemistry. It cost me around 5,200 coins, so a fairly cheap team. I wouldn't recommend buying it just because the 2 centre-backs are just extremely slow. The probably weak point of this team is obviously its defence. It's just really slow, not the best players in the leagues and stuff like that. Like I said, guys, this has been my ex-player squad builder for Reading. If you've got any other suggestions, any alternative players you could put in the squad, remember to hit that like button. Also hit that like button because this squad took me about forever to try and put together, find some players in the right position. And it just took me for ages, so remember to hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And remember to subscribe for next week's episode. Remember to subscribe for the next episode of this series. This has been Chronic Rush HD. Till next time, adios!